My name's Peter. This is a good place for like a first or like a second date.
You remember our first date? The first time we met?
Yeah.
If you haven't watched my other video, I went through a pretty bad breakup, and it's been around 10 months now, and I've been single for all that time. And looking back in hindsight in all of my relationships, I started to realize through introspection and reflection is that I was in a lot of toxic relationships for the most part. I always tended to be the giver in the relationship, and through each single relationship that I went through, I would give it 1,000%, and no matter what, they didn't end up choosing me. And I ended up feeling like I was never good enough. But I'll talk about that a little later. And now that I've been single for pretty much a year now, what's a better way to fix myself by finding another girlfriend when there's a pandemic going on? So what else do? You try yourself in some online dating. So if you want to get into online dating, there are essentially 3 major apps that you need to go to. Not sponsored, you know. You got Tinder, you got Bumble, and you got Hinge, right? Those are your 3. And if you're curious about what my profile looks like, give you all a little sneak peek. So the whole concept of online dating is that you're matching people based on their 3 pictures that they have, a little blurb about themselves, and if y'all both swipe right on each other or you like another person's photo, then you can begin engaging in a conversation. But let me show you guys my profile. And shout out to Poi for letting me borrow his dog. You know, sometimes, you know, your boy has to lie a little bit because girls do the same thing with their makeup, and, you know, I'm actually 5'4", but you know what it is. To this day, even though I consider myself a seasoned veteran, I've been online dating before and during COVID, is that the whole concept of online dating is still so weird to me and peculiar, where you're constantly comparing and swiping through people if there were just simply a fish market based on looks and couple messages back and forth. So the basics of this is, I'm not gonna swipe other people right now because, you know, that's privacy issues. But people would swipe left and right, and it'd be constantly going like this, whether I'm taking a poop or I'm eating lunch, you know, the convenience of like that. But the first thing right off the bat is that it's not reality, because you're already from the get-go, like, this is what I'd be looking like, you know? Which is, I think it's pretty similar. Like, I try to have my photos look sort of similar, like how it would be in person, because I know a lot of girls like to use filters and all that, but, you know, I'm looking a little homey, you know? But yeah, that is the concept of online dating, and it's still strange in a time where you would think back then you'd be like called a weirdo, but now like everybody's on it, especially during these times where it's like, how do I meet other people? And this is just my overall recollection, one-man story about how I dived into the world of online dating. At first, you get the excitement of meeting new people and you being nice, then having a good first impression because it matters. The thrill of you could potentially meet your future wife or husband. Here I am going on another date. It's not that I can't find someone. It's more so along the lines of like trying to find the right person, you feel me? Now that I'm 28, 27, maybe 28 when I release this video, that the only thing that really stays in your life, potentially, is a partner, right? But I've gone on so many of these, I'm like wasting my time when it's like,
I realized one of the biggest things from doing all this is right here, right? I can't leave myself. Even though if I get rejected, someone treats me like trash, it's like, I know my worth. You feel me? I know my worth. Should I go with this one? Or should I go with the furry? It's always, it's always like, hi, how's it going? My name's Peter. Hey, how's it going? I'm Peter. Hey, what's up? Fist bump it. What's up? What's good? What's Gucci? No, I cannot, man. I'm like 28. I can't be talking like that.
Until it felt like I was going through the motions, constantly swiping, feel like I needed to sell myself to people, constantly being told, this is how I should treat a girl, this is how I need to date if I ever want a girlfriend.
Meeting people that I shouldn't be meeting. Like, for example, this is one girl that I met up, a little older. She was an accountant, and we met up, right? I met her up after her work. She works downtown. And I could tell she was already a little bit drunk because she had the Asian flush. First thing I meet her, hey, how's it going? My name's Peter. Right off the bat, super touchy, super huggy. I'm like, okay, chill, relax. And then we walk around and trying to find a place to eat. And we spent like 10 to 15 minutes going around to eat, to find a place to eat. And then we can't make up our mind. I can tell she's frustrated. And then I'm like, okay, how about I pick this restaurant? And she's like, no, I don't like that restaurant. So, and then I was like, why do you ask me to pick then, right? So we go in, sit down, we have a good meal, chat, right? And then, it's all great, She's trying to like touch my leg. I'm like, okay, relax, And then the bill comes, right? And I'm like, hey, you don't mind splitting, right? Because to give you context, I've never met this girl before, right? And the minute the bill comes, I'm like, hey, you want to split it? Her face just drops. And then she goes on this rant of how this is how, women need to be treated, I'm an accountant. I make 100,000 plus a year. I can take care of myself. I'm an independent woman. But I think that you don't know how to date, and you should pay for the first couple months. And then after me going along with that, I was like, that's when things started to like turn sour. And she literally guilt tripped the shit out of me. And me being a person that I know that I am, I try to be like a decent person, right? And this is my technically fourth or fifth person that I met up with for the first time, right? Just for the first time. And then, I'm like, okay, I feel so bad. We got the bill, we split it. Someone's cutting the grass now. Okay, I'm gonna go over here. So we split the bill, and then what happened was I felt so bad, and then I'm like, okay, how about we go get boba or bubble tea? So I'm gonna go there. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do my thing, and how about I get us the boba? And then, she's like, oh, thank you. And then in the back of my head, I'm like, did she just manipulate me to buying her this boba? And then she pretty much half finishes it. We sit down. Is that share tea? And she half finishes it. And then she's like, I'm I'm gonna call it Uber right now, and I'm just gonna go home. So the Uber comes. I'm sitting there, 2 half-finished bobas. She gets up, leaves, and then it's just me in sheer tea, straight up, just alone with 2 bobas. She gets up and leaves. I'm like, really, really. So I'm over here looking like an idiot, and I'm like, she just ranted about me and how I should treat girls, blah blah blah, and yeah, that was one of my weird stories of like just meeting someone. So my question for you is, do you remember our first date? The first time we met?
Yeah, we went to the park.
And
then we got bubble tea after.
right. How was your first impression of me? This is gonna be a very narcissistic interview. First impressions. Be honest and be hella brutal.
He was like, you were very confident about yourself,
Okay, that's good.
and that's a good thing.
Let's keep this PG.
Oh, it's PG, okay. Overall, you were like,
I'm a cool guy, I think.
Yeah,
I carry myself pretty well.
Yeah, you were nice. And
I'm
like,
a good conversationalist.
Yeah, like I really like how you carried yourself. But then there were like some points where I was just like, hey, this guy seemed like a bit cocky. But then, like, you know, like some girls are attracted to that because it looks like you're confident about yourself.
Mm-hmm. But the whole online dating, it's like it's a sense of like abundance where it's like, if I don't match with you, I'm just gonna find someone else just as easy.
Yeah, that's.
And I don't like that, man. And it's like, I think that's the way online dating is going, and it's really messing up how we see other people. Because it's like another person agreed to spend their time with you, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, at least try to be decent or like nice. But I don't know, man.
Yeah.
A lot of girls have a lot of expectations, but you can also say vice versa.
The most important love is so cliche and trite and corny, is that you need to love yourself. And if anything, I needed to give those people around me in my life, the most important people, the love that they deserve. Not some random strangers that I could care less and try to sell myself. To start doing things I like and love. To know that someone will love me for just who as I am, as long as I show up. Because I know at the end of the day, I'm this crazy, fun, wild, wacky person. And I didn't need to prove myself to anybody, let alone some random girl on Tinder.
Now I'm just gonna do something for me and go to the park, Queen Elizabeth. If you're in Vancouver, I frequent that park too much because it's easy to park and I can get some decent shots, and doing something just that I like for me, that doesn't make sense, doesn't have no ROI, but I get some beautiful shots and I like to do it. You know, as in doing it as in creating content, and just, you know, it's all about doing you. And that's something I've learned over the time of in this lockdown, is like, when you're trapped within yourself, you can't run away from yourself, right? And the more I realize, you know, I gotta run towards feeling uncomfortable and doing things that make me more happy, because I realize that, you know, things are cyclical. Like, you do habits because they protect yourself as a kid, but then you realize that they're not beneficial to you. Anyways, enough yapping. I'm gonna go there and get some shots for B-roll and just have fun in life, man, by yourself, right?
At the end of the day, you realize all of us strive or have addictions into things that escape us from our own realities.
You know, that's a bonus. It's not like someone completes you, right? It's more along the lines of like, how can being with someone make you grow as a person, more so than like hold you down. And the more I realized, the more it was like I kept falling into like relationship after relationship, and I was like, hold up, man, like there's like a common theme through everything. Like, it's like, no matter if I give in like 1,000% into somebody, you know, at the end of the day, if they don't choose me, man, it's like, it's on them, it's not on me. Like, I take it too personally, and it's like, I gotta keep improving. I gotta, like, someone out there in the world is gonna love me just as who I am, right? A flawed human being who just is trying to do his best. there's one shot that was so worth it. At first I was like, man, I'm kind of tired. I don't know if I want to do this. And then this lady in front of me gives me like a dirty look, man. And I was like, what you looking at, fool? I'm like, oh god, this is a great start to filming this. But I'm feeling pretty good, man. And sometimes you just gotta do it, right? You just gotta go out. It's like going to the gym. And I'm more sensitive than most people, you know? Your boy's a sensitive artist, man. But just like working out, I was like, I'm glad I did it. No regrets, man. And yeah, man. Cheers to being single and cheers to like loving yourself, right? And for so long I was chasing love, chasing approval from other people, man.
Am I saying that online dating is a horrible thing and you can't find someone that you truly love or the future wife or husband? No, I'm not saying you can't. There is a percentage, if you put this on a central general distribution scale, that you probably could. But the reality of actually finding someone online through these apps, you're probably not likely to meet that person. You're most likely to meet someone that's okay. I've met some really cool people, potential friends. But it comes to finding the one, my soulmate, is that we all just want to be loved for who we are. And we want to find someone to share our lives with. Because at the end of the day, being human is about connection. Finding someone that 1 + 1 is greater than the whole or the sum or whatever the sum is greater than the odd or whatever, you know? Life itself is scary, and to try to find a partner in these times, even for me, it's tough. And you realize the more I'm on these apps, the more I realize that I'm slowly losing myself, just like social media, as I'm trying to constantly find something in the outside world, when the reality is I needed to be 100% okay with myself. And until I'm okay with myself, I will keep attracting this same seeking approval people into my life. And I needed to just love myself. And it comes down to, at the end of the day, I needed to uninstall these apps. But I know in a week or two, I'm gonna get lonely again, download these apps, and find another person to talk to. But that's the cycle of these dating apps and dating during a pandemic and trying to find a girlfriend, a boyfriend, whoever your heart's desires. And if you watched all the way to the end now, thanks for watching. My name's Peter, and if you're wondering about that thumbnail, that isn't my girlfriend. I'm still single.